So now we know why I put the phone so that I can see myself, and also so it's vertical so my head doesn't get cut off. And so I know what's happening. I love this. But so to show you the forks, I'm gonna show you, and here's the general. Okay, that's the general lineup at this juncture. Okay, so ohm is the ohm fork, OHM. And so you can translate that to home, HOME. So it's our kind of baseline. It's a good place to start and finish treatments, and also reminding us of like our physiology, like just our body cell origins. So home, coming back to our when we were born perfect and our cells hadn't experienced all the junk yet, and we were born with all of that purity. So here's, one, but then paired, we have the unison ohm. So I will activate on the activator pad. So I'm wearing this around, it buckles around this is the first original one I've always had. So it's well used. And so I just have that, I'm wearing it so that I can walk around the table. So here, for example, we have our, treatment table where someone would be laying down. And so I can walk around the table. I'm going to activate. So you can hear the tapping, and I'll start the treatment by putting this on the inside of the ankle. Not of myself, of the patient. I'm going to do both sides just so I feel even right now. All right. And I'm going to do sometimes also around the ears. I wish you could hear it. I don't know if that was going to work very well. So anyways, there's that. And then the octave. So we have the ohm, middle ohm, and then we compare that with the low ohm, creating our ohm octave. So it's the same energetic of the ohm, but just like more grounding. I always said grounding. We start with grounding, but it's a deeper level beyond grounding. Definitely a therapeutic level. It's all therapeutic. So I'm just gonna tap that. You'll see, you can maybe hear that a little bit. Okay, for example. Then the next one in line is the third. So this pair creates a music interval of a third. So if you know, 3 blind mice, da da, that's a third, da da. So you can't hear this probably. Actually, I'm going to show you in the high octave. Yes, you might be able to hear this. Best is probably to do the same to show you the fourth. This is earth. This is going to be a tonifier, so I'll use this to build chi. Mostly what's cool is to use the earth fork or interval on the earth meridian, so the stomach on the earth point. Stomach 36, Zusan Li, just below the knee. I'm going to show you that right now because I think it's going to feel good to do right there. For example, just below the knee on the lateral side of the body. Okay, just a little example. And then I'll show you how that sounds out loud. That's that. I don't use this one out loud like ever, mostly. For what it's worth, because that's the interval. The next in line is going to be the new moon. So this is going to be the energetic of opening. I'm gonna say this is a minor 6, and whoa. And then I'm gonna do the equivalent for you in the high octave. Sorry, here we go. And then next is going to be the full moon. Equivalent, I'm going to say, is the energetic of water. So like we said, this was like earth if we're talking elements. And this is going to be tonifying the yin. So we can use this sometimes for it's going to be too much information on spleen 6, Sun Yin Jiao, 3 yin meeting place. But here's activating those. Wait, I'm really getting this is like a lot of frequency for me right now, quite honestly. I never do this, but it's a good lesson, right? And so in the higher you can hear it. Water. All right. And so then I'll show you, I have the solar 7th here. So the low ohm with the mid, sun, or 7th. So sun is heat, and that's creating dryness in case there's excess damp, which creates, it's one of those thingies in our diagnoses in Chinese medicine. If we want to dry out excess damp. So let me tell you that. So again, I'm guessing you can't hear these. And I don't have my high solar 7th, plus it'd be super rare for me to use that. So right now, I'm really feeling like, whoo! So you never are gonna use all of these frequencies in one treatment. Like that's definitely too much for a person, in my opinion. So in my treatments, I tend to do super working on basics, because that's what we're missing, is our basics when we're out here in the world and we're giving energy and we're experiencing stress and being depleted, and including some nervous system when our nervous system feels shot, so to speak, we say, oh, my nerves are shot. So that's so this helps bring us back, helps soothe our energy, and helps ground us. So here's the super useful for that, the Ohm fork. So right now I'm going to do this to myself, in fact, to bring myself back down. That was a lot. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use the low ohm and the middle ohm, and I am going to put this on my Zusan Li stomach 36, just below my knee on the lateral side of the leg, to ground me down. All right, I'm going to do that on both sides. So this is just an example of, you really actually can use Accutonics tuning forks for self-care. Or get treatments. So I'm going to activate it again, go to my inside of my ankle, kidney 3 for grounding, to kind of pull everything, kind of like evening out what's just happened there. And I'm going to set that down. Now I'm going to go to my ohm. I'll tell you what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to shake it out. I'm going to take off my shoes and I'm going to put my feet down here. I'm not on grass or ground, but I got the rubber shoes off of my feet there, because I'm wanting to be real about this, and I am going to let this all integrate for a second. So I'm thinking of my spine and alignment, and I'm thinking of my body integrity. That's fun. And now I have my Ohm unison to end this little example. It's not really been a treatment, but I'm going to activate that. Put it to my Ren 6, which is just below my belly button. And I'm gonna do actually just one on each side of my inside of my ankle. Kidney 3, grounding and source chi. And for what it's worth, I do have rubbing alcohol and cotton that I clean these off with, sometimes constantly during each treatment, but all the time I do that. And so here's a little finishing look of the forks. Yeah, nice little Icutonics intro. Healing thoughts.